headphones hold up. If they don't, I'll have to close the stream early. But, I don't know, my DAC, my DAC, hasn't been charging properly. I gotta get a new one, but I don't really know what to buy. Because I need it to do... I need it to have a USB, you know, whatever connector, and it also needs a line in or whatever. And a regular audio out. As the anxious villagers clamored around the main temple, Suzunome began the solemn ritual. She chanted the prayer aloud to summon Rogu Gamihiko no Mikoto. Next, she took out a small bow. She took out a small bow known as an Uzuza Yumi, a spirit bow, and grabbed the string. Using something akin to a small pole, she strung the bow until it was taut. Not like she was trying to fire it, but rather like playing an instrument. The hall resounded with a shrill noise, the likes of which I'd never heard before. Will this really summon Lord Rokugami? Be quiet, you'll distract her. The whispers of the villagers died down one after another after the majestic sound. Before long, the air was filled with an austere presence, befitting the advent of a god. I'm kind of fighting with my headphones right now. Okay, hopefully they're okay. Suzunome, who had been putting her all into stringing the bow, suddenly lowered her head and began shaking from head to toe. I know it said toe. Her eyes widened as she convulsed and started groaning. The villagers, fearing she might be possessed by an evil spirit, could only watch with bated breath. And then she went limp. Quietly, she rose to her feet, her demeanor completely different from before. When she turned around, her expression was no longer that of the sweet young woman everybody had seen mere minutes prior. A long silence followed. No one dared speak, least of all blink or twitch. Eventually, she broke the silence. I am Rokugamihiko no Mikoto. Prostrate yourselves, children of men. Her intensity was not that of Suzunome. There was no more doubt about it. A god now dwelled within her body.
Oh, Rokugami-sama.
Lord Rokugami.
我らはお山のふもとに住まいます村の民たちでございます。
We are villagers that live on the base of the mountain. The mayor humbled himself as he informed Rokugamihiko no Mikoto of the village's plight. I am not the god that governs the rain. Thus I can't bring forth such a blessing.
Oh, それでは雨は一体いつになったら
Oh, then when will we next see rain? The rain clouds are distant. You will be graced with rain, but that may be some time still.
秋の実りはどうでしょう
Then what of the autumn harvest?
幾ばくかの実りを迎えるであろう。
A modest harvest awaits you.
それをよく蓄え、大切に食い延ばしたなら、必ずや村は救われるであろう。
If you are to store and ration it carefully, you will make it through and survive. There would be crops in the fall. Everyone looked at each other with relief at this beacon of hope. Now that they had hope for the future, their concerns turned to the present naturally.
しかし六神様、私たちはすでに 日々の糧にも苦労しております。
But Lord Rokugami, we are struggling as it is to get by.
このままでは村人たちは次々に弱り、病に蝕まれていくことでしょう。
At this rate, the villagers will grow weaker and weaker and succumb to illness.
秋まで待つことはとても難しいことです。どうか、どうか。
We can't hold out till autumn. Help us.
我らに日々の糧をお与えください。
Give unto us our daily bread.
お前たちは我を敬い、我が山に属せの汚れを持ち込まぬよう、よく今日まで努めた。
You've done well to revere me and not bring your earthly corruption into my mountain. So the one that sees what's his face as corrupt is her. Doesn't that mean she's see them all as corrupt, not just the person that came onto her mountain?
その労をねぎらうことはやぶさかではない。
I would be willing to requite you for your labor.
何卒お慈悲を。
Please grace us with your benevolence.
次の満月の晩より7日間、我が眷属の鹿たちを村に使わす。
For 7 days from the night of the full moon on, I shall send you deer who serve me.
その肉を村人たちに分け与えよ。
Distribute the deer flesh among the villagers.
さすれば、秋の実りまでを食いつなぐことができるであろう。
If you are to do this, you will have enough food to last until the autumn harvest. And with those words, Suzunome's body slowly went limp as she collapsed. Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto had vowed its charity unto the villagers. And then came the night of the full moon. The god's envoy appeared before the waiting villagers. It was a creature of legend, said to live on the Forbidden Mountain, a golden deer. The villagers were rendered speechless by its appearance. The buck antlers were strong and firm, like the branches of a great tree. Their solid gold glitter shone around the village like a scene straight of a dream. Its eyes gleamed red, like rubies, and though it was a deer, one couldn't help but kneel before its divine presence. The fur of the deer was golden, sparkling brilliantly with each movement of its body. It was the emissary of the Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto, rumored to extend one's life by the mere sight of it. Every last villager prostrated themselves before the deer. Suzunome slowly walked forward and spoke to it. Before long, she turned around and conveyed its message to the villagers.
神の鹿はこう仰せられています。
The deer has spoken thusly.
我が肉を剥ぎ、それを煙でいぶして蓄えよ。
Carve out my sacred flesh, smoke it with fumes, and store it.
需要に富し我が肉は一口で飢えを癒すであろう。
One bite of my flesh will remedy your hunger.
そして我が金色の角、我が金色の毛皮を剥ぎて金子に変えて蓄えよ。
Strip me of my golden antlers and fur, and trade them for money.
それにて食い延ばし、秋の実りを待つがよかろう。
Use that money to help sustain yourselves until the harvest of the upcoming autumn. For the next 7 days, they were visited by a new golden deer each night. Doing as they were told, the villagers smoked the meat and stored it. They presented the golden antlers and furs to nobles from the capital, and managed to exchange them for vast sums of money. With those, the villagers were saved from famine and managed to keep their homes.
そんな昔話があったんですね。
I never knew they had that sort of legend here.
だからこの土地の古いお年寄りは絶対に鹿の肉を食べないの。
This is why the elderly never eat venison here,
尊い神様の使いだからって言ってね。
for they claim deer are God's sacred messengers.
まあこの平成日本で鹿の肉なんてなかなか口にできるものじゃないけれどね。
Not that modern day deer make for good venison anyway.
神社への通りの土産物屋さんに名物鹿まんじゅうとか鹿納豆とかいろいろ売っているけれど、
The vendors on the way to the shrine sell deer-themed novelties like a deer steamed bun or natto.
食べ物に神聖な鹿の名を冠することに眉を潜めるお年寄りも少しはいるのよ。
However, some of the elders frown upon putting the sacred deer name on food products.
飢饉を鹿の神様に救ってもらったことをこうしてずっと感謝し続けてるんですね。
So they continue thanking the deer god from the bottom of their hearts for helping them from the famine to this day, huh?
というのはすべて後世の人たちが都合よく再編集した作り話なの。
Well, this story, I told you, was the one edited by later generations. Very convenient.
作り話？
It was edited.
そう。そもそもこの神社は祝い元なんてめでたい名前なんかじゃなかった。
Yes. In fact, this shrine's name isn't something so nice sounding as Iwaihime Shrine to begin with.
本当の名前は呪い元神社。
This shrine is actually Noroimoto Shrine.
呪いって人を呪うの呪いですか？
Noroi, as in a curse.
そう。人を呪うの呪いと書く呪い元神社。
That's right.
外から人が来ることのない時代にはみんな気にしなかったそうなんだけどね。
No one really gave the name any thought back in the day when outsiders were few and far between.
江戸時代に街道が通ることになるとマイナスイメージを気にして名前を変えようということになってね。
But once roads started passing through the village by the 17th century or so, they were worried the name would give them a negative image, and thus decided to change it.
呪い元神社の名前は似た字で縁起のいい祝い元神社に改められたの。
So they took out the characters for Noroi or curse and swapped it in for a similar character with more positive connotations. Iwai or celebration.
この頃に呪い元神社の由来についての物語も改編が行われたわ。
Hence the title, Iwaihime, celebrate the princess, right? Or celebration princess? I don't know. It was at this time that they revised the story regarding the history of the Noroimoto shrine.
その結果が先ほど話した昔話。
I'm losing my headphones, unfortunately. But we did get through that little bit.
改編
So I'll just save here. Unfortunately, losing my audio. You may have lost the audio too. I'm not sure, but I'll have to quit out here because my device doesn't want to charge. So hopefully next time it'll charge up and we'll be able to continue. Have a great day. Bye bye.